Sit back and enjoy this and just try to come together and, have some peace. One of the most disappointing things is when you're a fan and you have high expectations for a team. Some are able to live up to it, while some crash down to earth with a resounding thud and given a place in NBA history no team wants to be a part of. Welcome to Sports Plug TV, and here's a list of our most disappointing teams in NBA history. Starting off in the 10th spot of this notorious list is the 1996 Houston Rockets. After failing to win with the Suns, former league MVP Charles Barkley moved to Houston in the summer of 1996. The Rockets were also just a year removed from winning back-to-back NBA championships in 94 and 95, so it looked like adding one of the best players of all time would give them a serious shot at winning a third title. Unfortunately, Olajuwon, Drexler, and Barkley had lost a step or two by that point and were not able to put up against the Jazz in the 1997 Western Conference Finals, losing in 6 games. Checking in at number 9 is one of the most expensive teams the league has ever seen. 2013-2014 Brooklyn Nets. First off, consider these players' salaries. Deron Williams and Joe Johnson had $100 million contracts, while Brook Lopez was signed for $60 million. And then, check out the results. The Nets were eliminated in the first round of the 2013 playoffs by a Chicago Bulls team that didn't even have D Rose. The following season, the Nets added equally expensive veterans, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, but it still didn't matter as they lost to the Miami Heat in 5 games in the second round of that playoffs. In at number 8 is the 2006 Detroit Pistons. After consecutive trips to the finals, they picked up 1 chip and was a quarter away of defeating the San Antonio Spurs for another one. The squad returned the next season pumped up to chase after the NBA championship once again. Pistons raced off to a blistering 47-9 start to the season and ended up with the league's best record of 64-18. They seemed destined to advance to the finals for the 3rd straight year, much like the bad boy Pistons had. But that didn't happen. By that time, their defense proved inconsistent throughout the playoffs, and when they faced D Wade and Shaq in the Eastern Conference Finals, they simply had no answer for either of them. Wade averaged 26.6 points per game in the series to end one of the best, but also one of the most disappointing seasons in Pistons history. Checking in at number 7 is the 1998 Los Angeles Lakers. This team had everyone's hopes up as they began the season winning 11 straight games. With Shaq the Diesel already having a year under his belt as a Laker, young guns Kobe Bryant, Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones were all coming together, and this team had the makings of a championship contender. After finishing the season with a 61-21 record, they disposed off their first 2 playoff opponents, the Trailblazers and the Supersonics, in overwhelming fashion. Then it came to the Western Conference Finals, which they faced off against the Utah Jazz in what was considered a revenge series after Utah beat LA in the previous year. However, that's when things went sour for LA as they were obliterated by the Jazz 112-77 in Game 1, and they suffered a sweep. Ain't that something? We never seen a Jordan-Kobe finals, and we never saw a Kobe-LeBron finals. But anyway, taking the number 6 spot on this irregulars list is the 2016 Golden State Warriors. This team was destined for greatness as they set the best record of all time, 73-9, breaking the previous record of the 96 Bulls of 72-10. Golden State's regular season run had shattered over 25 NBA records and is considered to be one of the greatest in NBA and of all professional sports history. Warriors coach Steve Kerr got Coach of the Year, while superstar Stephen Curry was named the first ever unanimous MVP. However, the season would have a bitter end as they lost in the NBA Finals to the Cleveland Cavaliers, in spite of having a 3-1 series lead. Earning the 5 spot on this list is the 2012-2013 Lakers. And on paper, it appeared that the Lakers would be having another historic season with their absurd collection of talent that featured the likes of MVPs Steve Nash and Kobe Bryant, and all-star big man Pau Gasol and Dwight Howard. However, injuries plagued all 4 players, and worse, even during the times that they played together, chemistry just wasn't there. The Lakers barely made the playoffs that season and came in as the 7th seed. That earned them a showdown with the mighty Spurs, who promptly handed them a broom and swept them. Taking the number 4 position on this infamous list is the 1999 Indiana Pacers. Just 1 year after taking MJ and the Bulls to that famous Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, the Pacers were that team right there that was supposed to replace the Bulls after their last dance. Indiana had a veteran group of players led by legendary shooter Reggie Miller, court general Mark Jackson, and the dunking Dutchman Rick Smits. They even beefed up their lineup with the offseason acquisition of Sam Perkins. Pacers ran into an 8th seed buzzsaw New York Knicks, who found their playoff rhythm and beat the Pacers despite not having the main man Patrick Ewing for the last 4 games. What started off as a perfect playoff run for the Pacers eventually went sideways as they got taken down 4-2 by New York. Claiming the 3rd spot on this list is the 2009 Cleveland Cavaliers. The 2009 team seemed to have it all, with LeBron being the league's MVP, 2 all-star sidekicks, a seemingly invincible home court that year when they only lost 2 of their 41 games. Best of all, they were able to set up home court advantage for the rest of the playoffs. They had the NBA's best record of 66-16. Expectations began to reach a fever pitch when the Cavs swept right through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. Then, once they matched up against Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals, it was a different story. Magic center Dwight Howard simply muscled them in the paint inside, while Hedo Turkoglu and Rashad Lewis had stretched out the floor and had their way against the other Cavs. While LeBron averaged an amazing 38.5 points in that series, it was all for nothing as Cleveland got beat out 4-2. Coming in at number 2 is the star-stunned 2004 Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers were pegged to win it all the season that they signed former All-Stars Karl Malone and Gary Payton to team up with the dynamic duo of Shaq and Kobe. Fans were for sure having visions of a 4th straight title dancing in their heads as they got up to an 18-3 start. However, injuries and chemistry problems quickly gave fans a rude awakening. In spite of those, the Lakers made it all the way to the finals, but lost to the superstarless Pistons in humiliating fashion, 4-1. And finally, taking the top spot on this list is the infamous 2007 Dallas Mavericks. The 2007 season was shaping up to be the Mavericks' year as they looked rejuvenated and primed for a bounce back after losing to the Heat in the year before. The Mavs ultimately looked as a title favorite as they posted a franchise-best 67-15 record, led by that boy Dirk Nowitzki. However, the Mavericks soon learned that the regular season doesn't mean anything when you range up against a terrible playoff matchup. The Mavs didn't fare well against Golden State all year. They were winless in the 3 games they played against them. And when it came to the playoffs, Warriors dropped them off 4-2. It was not just a case of a team not fulfilling their championship expectation, but it was just an embarrassment. Like never before, a team with the high expectations just poorly performed. Hope you enjoyed this list. Please give us a like, comment, and subscribe, you know what I'm saying. Thank you for watching.